I was referring to the gentleman's agreement.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's just, you're asking a question about this, and the question's this big. So, and let's see, that was in 1999, and the subject never came up until after the year 2010. Does that tell you something? It does, or it should. So, one last question, Billy, a bit of a tough one. People often describe a gentleman's agreement that you had with Rick. Did you hear Rick describe that, Mark? Rick described that, Mark? No, you didn't. Regarding the perfect Pac-Man, and went back and did the score before he arrived. He was there 3 times that summer. And so, again, you heard it from a side, from somebody who has a narrative that they want to push. That's the first answer. That's the honest answer. And let me give you the Billy Mitchell answer. Somebody's mad because I beat him to the punch. They can cry me a river. Go cry on somebody else's shoulder. But the truth is, Rick is not crying. Not even close. Okay? You haven't heard that from Rick.
Me, Bill Mitchell, Neil Chapman, Chris Era discussed it and decided that it would be best if we all went head-to-head again, be more exciting and give everyone like a fair chance of doing it. And Bill Mitchell agreed. We all agreed to do it. And then at the end of the tournament, on the 3rd day, the last day, Walter Day was talking about who did what achievement and blah blah blah, and he then announced that we had an agreement that we were waiting until the next tournament in order to go for the perfect Swan Pac-Man. And I thought, as well as Neil thought, that everything was kosher and we would practice and like go for it in perfect order the following year. But then Bill Mitchell did a sneak attack and went for it on July 3rd of 1999. And I feel like he went against our agreement. Now, this was not a legally binding contract. It was just like a gentleman's like handshake type thing. But like I felt at the time that he would honor that, but obviously he didn't.
And don't say you heard it on film, because on film you simply pick and choose what it is you'd like to be said. Okay? It's a much bigger story. And the fact of the matter is, if anybody wants to play crybaby, they can go cry somewhere else. Okay? He's not the first person whose ass I whipped. Okay? And when I got my ass whipped, I simply didn't tell you about it. I just went back and worked harder. But the fact of the matter is, you haven't heard that from him. You certainly didn't hear the story from me. And the greater story is you only heard that from somebody who has a website that says BillyMitchell.com. Really. I mean, can you get any low life than that?
For the record, and just for the record, so people know, the quote-unquote handshake agreement, and just for the record, so people know, the quote-unquote handshake agreement. And just for the record, so people know, the quote-unquote handshake agreement. For the record, don't even talk about that. Don't even talk about that. That never even is. That never even is. And just for the record, so people know, the quote-unquote handshake agreement.
No, don't even talk about
that. That never even is. And just for the record, so people know, the quote-unquote handshake agreement. No, don't even talk about that.
My name is Raisin.